Welcome back to Ramble On, and thanks again for watching. If you've seen our other video on the tank tender, you probably saw these big gaping holes right here. And a long time ago we took the drawers out to better utilize the space underneath the sink cabinet. And what we got here is two little worthless drawers that I don't even know what you put in there. Like a pair of rubber dish gloves or something, a sponge. So inside the sink cabinet there was a big old box, a big old plywood box that took up like this much room underneath the sink cabinet. So you could barely, when you open the door here, you could barely stick anything underneath here. What we've been planning on doing for about the last 4 years that we've been living aboard here full time was making this into a tilt-out trash enclosure. So I've been working on that and fitting it to a garbage can that tucks nicely up in here with a tilt-out hinge. And I've got to now cut all this out and build a frame and door and everything that fits, and the garbage can tilt out. So I built this little frame here thing, and I've still got to build, I'm going to build a plywood door and face it with teak slats, like match the existing side here, with one of these fancy little cabinet catches and everything. And it'll be hinged on the bottom so that it goes inside the cabinet and tilts out like this. And the garbage can with a bag liner sits in like this. Plop in the garbage, close this up. Just putting around on these little woodworking projects, so need to paint this, build a door, and we'll go from there. So how I got this thing set up is we're gonna have a tilt out. There's gonna be a piece of plywood on this side. It's gonna be faced in teak to match the cabinetry, and just calculating, you know, in order to get a garbage can in and out and get the bags wrapped around it, I needed to calculate the height of how big the plywood door needed to be. This thing's only like 12 inches tall, but I had to go 18 inches in order so that the radius of the swing doesn't bump the door, or doesn't bump the opening. And then with the swing, it barely clears. It's like 18 1/8. So I got to make the door 19 inches. But then I got to put a little teak trim all the way around to cover up the bad edge of the plywood. So that's going to be, I've estimated, 1/4 inch. So I subtract 1/2 inch for all the way around the perimeter. I'm cutting the plywood at 18 1/2 inches. Then it'll be 19 once I glue the trim all the way around the edge of the plywood. Fasten all that up. Then I still have to make the external frame that goes around it, like the refrigerator door and all the cabinetry in the boat. But I just need to make a little mock-up with a hinge here, just to make sure that the radius, when it comes to here, there'll be a bump stop inside the cabinet, so that when this thing hits the face of the cabinet, it'll stop. Dump your goods, close it, and still, boom. Then pull the can out and be able to empty it. So, anyway, that's about that. Alright, so I got the door built, and the thing that holds the garbage can fits inside here. This is the tilt. Now I'm putting together the frame that goes around this. So now we glue. These are spring clamps for the corners. Trash enclosure tilt out. Just for fun, I'm going to pop a couple of nails in here. Now just make a little wood stain in the filler and fill in these corners down here on the bottom. Just add a little color to a natural colored wood filler. Alright, the next step is going to be to show you how we cut it in and make it all fit inside the opening that I got. So now I'm going to cut open the opening and enlarge it for the frame for the tilt-out trash door. And then I'm going to go back to the shop and put a couple of coats of varnish on this thing once I get the hole cut. There it is. Got a little bit of room for adjustments. Then I'll fasten it in and secure it. And then everything, the door, along with the thing that holds the basket in place. This thing goes in. Yeah, this thing's going to be, actually it sits a little bit down. I'm going to have to check that with the frame. When it tips, it might interfere a little bit with this. We got to look at this faucet, the pull-out faucet hose. So the rod stops it against the inside of the frame, and then there's just a little wooden strip on the inside here of the frame to stop the door when it closes.
Got it.
Alright, so here's the trash can enclosure. It's only got a couple of coats of varnish on it right now, so hopefully this thing fits like it's supposed to. I hope so. That's cute. We'll have to cinch the string down on the bag.
Oh.
Sticks out a little bit.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
It stays open.